WW3 and check out our menus. We have a tray menu, so if you want to cater for a larger option or a larger family or gathering, feel free to check it out and also give us a call. Take care and see you soon.
Bloodborne viruses and sexually transmitted infections are in our community.
Newstyle Radio, 98.7 FM. And we're here with the World War III report. Yeah, that's right. We're also streaming live Newstyle Radio and Lounges TV. 98.7 Let's get straight into it. Might be helpful if I got some of the old with the World NFTs War report. So yeah, once again, we're also streaming live Newstyle Radio, aiming for the TV. World record straight, and I think we'll be doing this weekly. No, actually twice, bi-weekly. NFTs are so we'll be streaming. Once again, technology, blockchain animations, world record via the power and I think we'll be of Lounges TV. Big up Simon Cowell and the crew. Big up Zach and all those awesome people. Blockchain, such live. But anyway, right, straight to it. Let's get straight to it. So, we're in the middle of World War III. Simon Cowell, that's right. The Iranian retaliation has begun. For those who I don't listen to the news. But anyway, straight into Shakespeare. So, we're in the middle of World War III. Those people complain about Aston Walker's rhetoric. Iranian retaliation has begun. For those, but so we've had a situation where the and this is just for Ofcom. Let's call it the Sir Ronald Storrs, Lord Curzon. It's a bit long-winded, but it'll all make sense. So we've had a situation. Sir Ronald Storrs, Lord Curzon, and this is Balfour. Let's call it the Sir Ronald Storrs, otherwise known as Lord Zionist. It's a bit long-winded, but and then in opposition to that, we have the Wilayah Faqih, Storrs, Khomeini, Lord Curzon, Balfour. Let's call it the only Wilayah Ali. There is no Wilayah Faqih, Zionist. The CIA, and then in opposition to that, Michel Foucault, Wilayah Faqih, French paedophile philosopher, Khomeini, Lord Jean-François nonsense. So those are the two belligerents at play. While us ordinary people, us regular folk, have to watch them duke it out. Ballistic missiles, and all of this belligerent to wit started because the regular folk. Now this is according to Scott Ritter for those who follow the YouTube commentary. And all of this, shall we call it, belligerent to wit, military, well-informed commentary. Now this is according to Scott Ritter for those who to be fair. The Iranian Khamenei regime have found out. But we need, as always, a little bit of background, Hollywood information. Yeah, now, that's right. Said that Hollywood and the AI, the wars in earnest, going nuts. But we need, as always, a little bit of background, Hollywood information. Now, that's right. Said that Hollywood and the AI, the wars in earnest. But we need, so let's go back to the dawn of the 20th century, where we had the AI Ottoman Empire. And I only found this out quite recently. Don't worry, it all makes sense. Just follow Aston. So the Ottoman Empire, the Ottomans who conquered Byzantium, of course, Constantinople. I only found this out. They didn't actually call themselves Ottomans. Follow Aston. So they were known as the Roman Caliphate Empire, the Roman Caliphate. For those regular listeners, will know that Greek and Rome were not civilizations. Europe's never had a civilization. They were known as the Roman. You can't be civilized if you're Roman Caliphate constantly. For those regular listeners, it's not a civilization. You'll know that already by 31 BC and Rome, were not civilizations. Europe's never had Kemetic, known as the Roman ancient civilized world, had existed for 4,000 years. For those regular listeners, now that's a real civilization. Black already by 30 BC. Anyway, I digress. So, we're not civilizations. The fall of the Ottoman Empire through the machinations of Lord Curzon, Sir Ronald Storrs, Sir Lawrence of Arabia. Now, that's a real civilization. Black with the Sunni Wahhabis. Anyway, I digress. Male are cursed. Other the fall of the Ottoman Empire is an off-coming machinations of Lord Curzon validates the community of Arabia. We have to say that for like balance of the Sunni Wahhabi. So the Sunni Kuffar, in league with their British handlers, sought to end the Roman Caliphate of the Turkic Ottoman. So in order to inaugurate and prepare for the Zionist and sought to end now called Israel, Sir Ronald Storrs, Balfour, Lord Curzon entity, which was a template from Northern Ireland. There you go, that's one for the historians. And also one that you can validate. My source is the Irish Times, for those who want to. So in order to inaugurate and prepare. So there you have it. So we have a playbook and a current state of affairs. Sir Ronald Storrs after the Second World War and the horrific satanic murder, Holocaust from Northern Ireland. 6 million Jewish people, ordinary. And also one that you can validate. My source is the Irish Times, and that's satanic. So in order to deviltry. So there you have it. And lest you forget, so Jews were expelled from Europe as well, and of course, medieval times we have the Spanish Inquisition and so on and so forth. Satanic. So after the Second World War, when and we have to bear in mind as well. The famous speech of Sir Winston Churchill, Harvard, 1943. Again, for those. And lest you forget, so Jews were expelled, sticklers for facts. 1943. Spanish. Sir Winston Churchill said, and I quote, "Satanic empires of the future will be empires," and we have to bear in mind as well. Let me repeat that again. I think famous speech and a salient and relevant point for the duration of this broadcast. Again, for those. And lest you forget, empires of the future will be empires of the mind. And it's in that, and it's with that understanding that the mentality, and we have to bear in mind, let's fast forward to the 21st century now, it's still elite. So we've gone from 1943 to present day. Salient and relevant points. We have empires of the mind via social networks, computer games, Pac-Man, all manner of Hollywood, or should I say, sorry, let me correct myself. And it's with that, the Garden of Allah Hotel, Hollywood, that satanic entity. Let's fast forward to the 21st century, where great films such as you've gone from the Klansman to present, Gone with the Wind. We have many more of your favourite Hollywood films via social network incepted. The Garden of Allah Hotel. Check it out. 1920s, yeah? Or should I say, sorry. So, let me correct myself. With that, empires of the Garden of Allah Hotel. We have a situation, satanic entities, youth, where elders, great 16th, 70s, you've gone from the Klansman, computer game fanatics, Gone with the Wind. We have film buffs and film aficionados, readers are loving it. You know, I got quoted Shakespeare the other day, actually, yesterday. That's my station. 1920s, yeah. Romeo and Juliet, Tybalt. Anyway, empires of God. So, we have empires of, so these youth, John D. Elizabethan, colonial, satanic, outpouring, riff-raff, trash, garbage, if you will. Film buff seeps into the mind, preparing people, I've got quoted Shakespeare for eschatologically a great war, a great conflagration, that is World War III. So, or to use the Arabic, the Malhamma al-Kubra, that's right, the Malhammi, so it's in that trash, garbage, if you will, sort of like on that thread to the mind that I have named my various research. Victory is in the grave. A great truly, the only escape, that is World War IV, or to use the various factions, the tribalism, the racist rhetoric. That's right. The only true, so it's in that liberation from sort of like on that thread, empires of the mind that I have named my various great research. For as you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his infinite beautiful wisdom has deemed death the various factions which shall be tasted by all human beings, the grave. the only true. It's only liberation from which separates empires of those of earthly power, gold, this power. Telling this country what it can do, what it can't do. Propaganda, Edward Bernays. Death propaganda. Satanism tasted by all, and victory in the grave, and knowing that one has to die to meet and give account for one's actions. And oh yes, those of the actions of Iran, Wilayah Faki, Khomeini, CIA, Michel Foucault, the Balfour, Zionist entity will surely have to render account because they're brothers, and let's face it, they're Neanderthal hybrids, if you will, as opposed to pure human Yoruba or Khoisan, Iran, African, Wilayah Faki, Khomeini, CIA, Neanderthal DNA taint. And we know Allah only judges by the heart and intention anyway. So we'll surely have to do something about hybrid brothers and sisters who managed to get on Noah's boat, being the only place where the ape man Neanderthal found suckle hybrid, if you will, and that's why we're in the Prince. So a battle, as is the case in World War II, World War I, cousins, close brothers and sisters fighting, duking it out. Well, us ordinary people, the laity, Yoruba, lay persons, observe or get blown to smithereens. But anyway, back to the, and we know Allah only judges by the explosions heard in Tel Aviv. So Iran has counter-struck hybrid brothers. Clearly, no one knows the future unless they're a prophet of Allah, Noah's boat of God, being the only place where the ape man, it's a tense moment, found suckle hybrid, if you will, all around, all across the globe. So a battle, as is the case in World War II, World War I, where this is exactly going. Will the Americans be involved? Because brothers and sisters, we now have looked at Haaretz and the Times of Israel. Well, us ordinary people, the laity, Trump was fully informed, sort of deniability, plausible deniability, and other such Neanderthal. And we know caucasity, explosions in Tel Aviv. So Iran has counter-struck. So there you have it. Clearly, no one knows political updates. Select normal programming resume. Yeah, good stuff. So, welcome, Josh. Let's turn you on.
Hello. Ooh. Hello. A little bit of the midweek shakes on my voice there.
Yeah. How are you? How's your week been, mate?
It's been interesting. It's been like a year. Feels like.
It feels like a year.
Yeah.
What the hell's happened?
Yeah, it's been a bit of an emotional week. I've had a lot of research going on, a lot of things I've been doing.
You can share with the audience.
Yeah, so following on from our looking into organic paints and whatnot, this week I was trying to see if we can make cheaper solar panels. Hello. The midweek. Yeah, and I also made a little cryptocurrency exchange. It's been interesting. It's been yeah.
How did you do that?
Yeah,
What the hell's happened?
so I designed the UX, and then I got a bunch of wallets. It's been a bit of an emotional some user logins and whatnot. I've had, and I put it all research going on. A lot of things I've been doing.
Probably now's the best time to share.
Yeah, so following on from our looking into organic paints and whatnot, this week I was trying to see if we can make cheaper solar panels. So basically what it was, it came from my desire to see cheaper transfer rates for round the world currency, and I saw a method of doing that with crypto, so it arrives instantly, and you don't have to go through the hassle of having a bank account, which I know some people really don't do. And then I got a bunch of wallets, a bit of an emotional, or like login. Sometimes not. If you need to get it from Western Union, and it gets they don't like how you look. Do you know what I mean? You could be stuck in there for a while. So my idea, obviously, it's called Exchange because it's aimed at kind of I'm gonna go with EX, just keeping it simple. So basically, what it was, it came from my desire to see cheaper transfer rates for round the world currency, and I saw a method of doing that. I'm presuming that someone has called that exchange, but I saw bank account, which are some people. Yeah. I mean, it's a competitive field out there. Yeah. Or like sometimes not. If you need to get it from Western Union, and it gets they don't like how you look. You know what I mean? You could be stuck in there for a while. So and for that, obviously, I mean, once the website is kind of up now, but you'd have to speak to me or maybe ask them to get it. But once it's up, you will be amazed, hopefully, by the amount of unique features it provides. To see cheaper transfer rates for round the world currency. I mean, Puma's an animal. I'm presuming that someone has called that exchange, but I saw bank account, which are some people. Yeah. I mean, it's a competitive field out there. Yeah. Or like sometimes not. I'm loving the fit, by the way. I don't think people can see it, but you're looking pretty stylish. Established brands. You could be stuck in there for a while. So okay. That, obviously, I mean, once the website is kind of up now, but you'd have to speak to me or maybe ask them to get it. But once it's up, you will be amazed, hopefully, by the amount of unique features. Okay. To see cheaper transfer rates. Nice. Round the world currency. I mean, Puma's an animal. I'm presuming that someone. What? Can I have a feel of it? Yeah. Oh, that is actually quite. Yeah. I mean, it's a competitive field out there. I'm loving the fit, by the way. I don't think people can see it, but okay, pretty stylish. Established brands. Made a wonderful t-shirt. Okay. That, obviously, I mean, once the website is kind of up now, but you have to speak to me or maybe ask them to get it. But once it's up, you will be amazed. Nice. Proper fellas. And girls. Nice. So, I mean, Puma's an animal. I'm presuming that someone. What? Can I have a feel of it? So another important, so like what it does really well, what the exchange does really well that I think is going to differentiate it, is it helps you look after your money. So you have an assistant that's kind of like, you have an AI assistant, that speaks to you about financial choices that you could be making with the crypto, points you to opportunities coming up. Dropped. And the reason for this is because I believe the Caribbean is actually suffering, and most of the equator and a lot of countries are suffering from an increase in acidity levels of the ocean, damaging coral reefs and the aqueous life. So quite another important. So what it does really well there, and what the exchange does, the seas connecting to the rivers. You know what I mean? It's all really good. It helps you look after your money. The idea being so you have an assistant. This is a financial transfer. You have an AI assistant that helps you look after your money and speaks to you about the places where you're sending the money to, you could be making in a way that points you to, makes you want to go back and spend some time and dip your feet in the water and touch some of the corals that hopefully will be growing back from the Caribbean. We can get and most of the equator. And I think that's why I didn't go too hard on naming it uniquely. I was more acidity levels of the ocean, damaging the name coral reefs and sort themselves out. Do you know what I mean? So quite important. So what it does really well there, and what the exchange is, the seas connecting to the rivers. You know what I mean? It's all really good. It helps you look after your money. The idea being so you have an assistant. This is a financial transfer. You have an AI assistant that helps you look after your money and speaks to you about the places where you're sending the money to. You could be making in a way that points you to, makes you want to go back and spend some time and dip your feet in the water and touch some of the corals that hopefully will be growing back from the Caribbean.
established players in the market.
And most of the equator. And
Does that have
I
a
think
name?
that's why I didn't go too hard on naming it uniquely. I was more like acidity levels, deliver value, what the name
So I'm just a little bit
sort themselves out. Do you know what I mean? So quite
that you put together
this week there and what the exchange is in seeds back into the revelation.
bit of kit together.
It's all really, isn't it? It helps you look after your idea being so you have an assistant. Do you have an AI assistant that helps you look after your money and speaks to you about the places you are making in a way that puts you makes you want to go back
in order for it
spend some
to
time
really enter the market
and touch some of the corals that hopefully will be growing back from the Caribbean. And most of the equator. And I think that's why I didn't go too hard on naming it.
Yeah.
Sort themselves out. Do you know what I mean? So quite.
Wearables are together.
I mean, the Beatles had copyrighted Apple before they launched as a company, but do you know what I mean? We don't know anything about the Beatles and Apple now, apart from the fact that they obviously made a lot of money off the sale of Apple.
Okay. You're comparing apples and pears.
Apple's an exchange.
The thing is, really into the market as an experience, like
Yes,
Brando.
he's wearing the graphene jacket as we speak.
That's the name of the company. It's an entity.
Yeah.
I think we should start like calling attractive girls as the summer goes.
You know, you can't just be,
I mean,
you need a
the
name.
Beatles had
You can't
copyrighted
just,
Apple
like,
before
you know,
they
talk
launched
about
the company.
Apple and Apple.
Do you know what I
the
mean?
Beatles
We don't know anything about the Beatles and Apple
were
now,
a
apart from the fact that
entity
they obviously made a lot of money off the sale of Apple.
crafted, lovingly nurtured. Yeah? I mean, you've got to like,
I mean, they were from Liverpool, yeah.
yeah, as an experience and
Yes,
brand.
he's wearing the graphene jacket as we speak.
Listen, evolve and absorb the name of the company. To the best.
Yeah.
I think we should start like calling attractive girls from like Apple.
I mean, you just got, you know, I just don't get it. I come across this an awful lot.
The Beatles had copyrighted Apple before
You know,
they
talk
launched the
about
company.
Apple and Apple.
Do you know what I mean? We don't know anything about the Beatles and Apple
Were
now, apart from the fact that
entity
they obviously
established
made a lot of money
together,
off the sale of
order of things, crafted. I've been there before, nurtured. The classic example was when I made my first feature film.
Apple. I mean, they were from Liverpool,
The
yeah.
FX legend John Priest.
Was that Ben Hur? Yes. He's wearing the graphene jacket.
For funny enough, I did have a character called Arius, but again,
Jeez.
that we lost a little bit.
I think we should start like
No
some
half
attractive
legends from
girls.
the
So when
centre.
I approached,
From like Apple.
when I was working with John Priest, full of beans, I come across an awful lot. Seven.
Beatles had copyrighted Apple.
You know, when I approached John Priest, you invested
We
heavily.
don't know anything about the Beatles and Apple now, apart from the fact
It's a case of, well, I know what I'm doing. I'm a filmmaker. I've made MTV music videos. I've been there, blah, blah, blah. Classic example. Full of beans, full of black man beans. It's about 10 years
I mean, they were from Liverpool, yeah.
So that was my initial approach.
Was that Ben Hur?
To which he, and he's a very patient,
He's wearing the
wise man. For funny enough, I did have a character called Aaron. And he said, well, Aston, again,
Jeez.
because he worked with Jim Henson, I don't know if you've ever heard of
No
Jim.
half legends.
So
No.
when I, the Muppets,
Like Apple.
when I was
I've heard
working
of
with John, he invented the Muppets. He full of beans.
Okay, nice, lovely.
So Jim Henson, so he worked with Jim Henson.
Jim Henson, yeah.
And David Bowie, and Labyrinth, and Aliens, he worked in Aliens, and Hellraiser, he worked on a lot of things.
Nice.
But anyway, he sort of turned around, talked Aston's arrogance and bravado, whatever. So look, Aston, full of beans, there's a way of doing these things. I've worked in
I mean, they were
Hollywood.
from Liverpool, yeah.
So that was my initial approach. And in my
Ben
ignorance, to which I wasted a good 5 years. Why? You know, I had to scrap most of the movie. Prison didn't help, but then prison did kind of help. And then when I came out of jail,
No half legends.
and then I sort of reviewed
I've heard of them.
you know, making a film. I said, well, you know
Okay,
what?
nice, lovely.
I'm going to listen to John Priest
Jim Henson,
because he's worked David Bowie in Hollywood. He's worked on major feature films.
Yeah.
And just take his advice. It didn't diminish. But anyway, he saw me as a human being, diminished as a man. It was just great experience. I absorbed it, and then I was able to make my first feature film.
God, believe it or not, yeah, there's no The Exchange.
I wasted a good 5 years.
Do you know what I mean?
There's no The Exchange.
There's no The Exchange.
Prison good, then it's a good start.
Yeah, so it looks like I just accidentally, yeah, serendipitously was unique. Okay, nice.
Okay, good. That's a plus. So, The Exchange, and I'm working it now with some brand new.
Or even just exchange as well. You don't even need it there. Because I was thinking, you know, about ease of just being able to say it. You know, what's exchange said about it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I want it to be on like the same level as which. Do you know what I mean? Like, God, believe it or not, yeah. There's no The Exchange. Which banks to open with?
Oh, like consumer services.
Consumer services. Because obviously I'm not trying to show you, like, you know, I'm not trying to be long, but like for example, so I've sent the AI teacher onto risk management, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna ask it, how do I mitigate risk? And I mean, this is stuff that most people might know. Or even just exchange as well. You don't even need it. So at this moment, it's pretty basic, or standard. It said, always keep some stable coins in your portfolio for buying opportunities during dips. Now, as a seasoned investor, that actually sounds really sensible to me. More sensible than it might appear on face value. But you know, we're going to give it tweaks. But I think in terms of what, for example, the AI generally say, diversity risk management, and it's like, okay, whereas this is the kind of, I'm going to ask it, advice you might get. How do I mitigate risk? Certainly better than the advice that I would have given you. So yeah, if you're listening and you've got money to send back home, check out The Exchange. By the time you hear this, hopefully at this moment it's pretty basic, standard. It said, always keep some stable coins in your portfolio for buying opportunities during dips. Yeah, so crypto exchange, trying to get cheaper solar panels, more sensible than it might appear on face value. Yeah, but you know, we're going to give it tweaks. But I think in terms of what, for example, the AI generally say, diversity. I'm aware of it. And it's like, okay, whereas this is the kind of, I'm going to ask it, advice you might get. I wasn't aware of that. Certainly better than the advice that I would have given you. So yeah, if you're listening off air, okay, check out The Exchange. By the time you hear this, hopefully at this moment it's pretty basic, standard. It said, always keep some stable coins in your portfolio for buying opportunities. Yeah. So crypto exchange, trying to get cheaper solar panels, more sensible than we're going to give it tweaks. I think in terms of what, for example, the AI generally say, diversity. I'm aware someone who's like a little bit inexperienced, okay, whereas this is the kind of, I'm going to ask it, advice you might get. I wasn't aware of that style.
Was that some self-awareness?
I would have given you.
This is Josh and self-awareness.
I mean, come on, you know me. Yeah. So one thing I have realised is that those things don't look after me. Do you know what I mean? The existing systems. I mean, it does to an extent, but not like it looks after everyone. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a.
Well, you're a goldsmith along with, right?
Yeah.
That's a great network there. Have you tapped in?
So this is what I'm saying. Like the unfortunate reality is because everyone's tapped in. There's a bit of a gridlock. Yeah. A bit of, things are a bit chock-a-block at the moment. Equality and diversity means that everyone is. I mean, come on, equal opportunities. Yeah. So one thing I have realised is so how those things don't. How I'm viewing it is that each individual person now has maybe 10%. I mean, it does to an extent, but in the last 10 to 15 years, it looks after everyone. Prior, and maybe more so than the last 40 years, just going by anecdotal accounts of about murder rates. So this is what I'm saying. Like that. The unfortunate reality is, because everyone's. But okay, with those things in mind, it appears to me that though everyone can't be things are a bit chocolate a billionaire today. You know what I mean? Everyone is in terms of what is equally available. Everyone's getting like one thing I have in my mouth. That's how I feel. I've got a lot to be. Those things. How I feel it is that a lot individual person now has maybe 10%. I mean, it does to an extent, but not like 15 years. Prior, and maybe more. I mean, like 40 years. We're like at max point in the system because it's like everybody who could do something is probably like really smart. So this is one of the only things that are maybe keeping them from being in the position that they want to be. It's like nepotism. But okay, with those things in mind, it appears to me that trauma, accidental failure, etc., and everyone's working really hard is to overcome that. So with that in mind, you know what I mean? Like obviously the operators, the kind of people who are changing things. It's a physics system, you know what I mean? The minimum and maximum. If everyone's pushing at the maximum, it's going to create a gridlock. Because each, like, I mean, like, the Earth is a sphere. So if everyone's pushing, if everyone's pushing, it's probably the same point, then we're going to have an equilibrium from being in the position they want to be. It's like, which is good for contentment, terrible for ambition, you know? I mean, because that means that only one person can wear their AP or drive the Ferrari. So with that in mind, gridlock, everyone's as likely as you, you know what I mean? Who are changing things. Yeah, of course, yeah. It's a physics system, you know what I mean? Everyone's pushing at the maximum. It's going to create a gridlock. Because each, like, I mean, like, the Earth is a sphere. So if everyone's pushing, if everyone's pushing, it's probably the same point, then we're going to have an equilibrium. Being in the position they want to be, which is good for contentment, terrible for ambition, you know? I mean, because that means that only one person can wear their AP or drive the Ferrari. So with that in mind, everyone's as likely, you know what I mean? Who are changing things. Yeah, of course, yeah. It's a physics system, you know what I mean?
Focused on doing that work. My opening jam commensurate with the grey and the afterlife and
I mean, like, Earth is a sphere.
belligerent situation. Satanist, Ayatollah Khomeini, Satan, Zionism, Balfour Declaration, all occurs in real life. Madness, clearly,
which is good.
and the USA and MI5 and CIA. These are entities devoted to satanic material work. Whereas if there are exterior acts of good work,
everyone's likely
pondering on heaven and hell, then we'd be in a better place. I mean, that's just that's work. My opening jam commensurate with the grey.
Obviously the reason that I was saying that is because I was really saying that the system doesn't look after me, and not to say that it doesn't actually look after me, but as I was saying, because it looks after everybody, they've developed the world's smallest violin just for me down the road in Lincolnshire. Yeah, they got that. So obviously, what with everyone being special and equal, then the feeling being that you to want to feel to feel special, like truly special, not equal special, which is what you realise once everyone's equal. You actually have to maybe shift things a bit, which is as long as you're doing it positively and everyone's happy. I think it's a fun system, to be honest. And not to say that not to say that it doesn't actually look after me, but as I was saying, because it looks after everybody, they've developed the world's smallest violin just for me down the road in Lincolnshire. I mean, those are a lot of words for what with everyone being special and equal.
Colonial, Elizabethan,
the feeling being that you to want to feel special. Okay, but what you realise once everyone's equal, you actually have to maybe shift things a bit, which is, as long as you're doing it positively, and everyone's happy, I think it's a fun system, to be honest. And not to say, maybe not to say that it doesn't actually look after you, but as I was saying, because it looks after everybody, they've developed the world's smallest violin, just from me down the road in Lincolnshire. I mean, those are a lot of words. What would everyone be special? The feeling being to feel special. Okay, but what you realise, what everyone's equal, you actually have to maybe shift. I mean, one just has to look at the music for the answer to that. I think Beethoven said it best. He said, dun, 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 dun. No, I don't know. As I was saying, because it looks after everybody. Yeah. Which is a real For real. I mean, those are a lot of words. What would everyone be DJ decks. Okay, maybe they had some far more advanced. Like brains and mouths. I mean, one just has to look at the music for the answer to that. I think Beethoven said it best. He said, dun, 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 dun.
Lounges TV is the World War 3 Obsidian Reflector. Which is a real pleasure. Being Josh, so
yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Aston. The hostess with the mostest, the producer.
You call me a hostess?
The host with the most, the producer with the glow, the graphene god, don't you know? Or graphene, like brains and mouths. Or inshallah, the graphene prophet then. You know what I mean? The new age graphene prophet, and me, Big JJ, Chrome and Lansfield. Exchange CEO now, apparently. If you don't know, get to know.
Exchange CEO.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, good. Let me just end this stream.